You are moving fast every day, trying to maintain the level of success you built. From where you sit, things are working. But you probably never spend much time thinking about how others around you actually experience you. But how they experience you will determine how long your success will truly last. Because the person across the table from you is reading signals you don't realize you're sending. And for many advisors, this one area left unattended quietly becomes a reason their success stops growing. I spent 23 consecutive years as a top-performing wealth advisory leader and executive, building and running multi-billion-dollar businesses. What I'm going to share with you is what it actually takes to reach and stay at the top levels of this business. So what are you going to learn today? 1, how your presence shapes people's expectations and behaviors. 2, why taking on more quietly damages how those around you see you. 3, why leveraging others' depth shifts ownership away from you. And finally, 4, why most advisors don't maintain their level of success year after year. One of the biggest reasons you won't maintain your level of success consistently year after year is because of how the people around you start experiencing you. And it usually shows up in 3 places. 1, it's your presence. This is how people come to expect how you'll show up. 2, it's your scarcity mindset. How others interpret your standards based on who you're willing to take on and continue carrying. And then 3, your depth. This is how others experience who actually owns the thinking and judgment when the outcomes matter. So let's first start with your presence. Presence is where the pattern actually begins. Over time, you show up the same way. You have your same process, your same products, same solutions, the same advice. And it's not because you're lazy or checked out, but it's what has worked for you always. But people around you experience that consistency you bring faster than you realize. So let's look at your prospects because they feel it first. They don't feel guided through your discovery. They feel guided towards an outcome that already exists. The nod you give happens before they're done explaining, and you signal understanding early. And from your seat, that feels efficient. But from theirs, it feels like the direction is already decided. So they'll adjust, they'll stop expanding, and they'll stop testing ideas with you. And they'll give you just enough to move the meeting forward, but the relationship will never really form. And your clients, they feel it even more. They already know how you're going to respond. They know how their recommendations will go. They'll know the direction you'll push. So they'll stop bringing nuance and they'll stop bringing context. And they'll even stop bringing the messy parts, not because they don't trust you, but because they don't see the space for anything beyond the version of you they know. Your team, they'll feel this too. They all know how your meetings will go. They'll know what you say yes to, and they'll know what decisions you're moving towards. And they don't even come in to listen. They come in ready to adapt. And then there's your support team. They'll feel it most directly. They know what's coming. They know what they'll be fixing afterwards. You'll hear it said plainly. Every time he brings something in, it turns into the same issue. Not because it's wrong, but because it's so familiar. And finally, your partners, they feel it as well. They know why you're calling before you even call. They'll know the ask before you make it. And it's not even a conversation to them anymore. It's just a known pattern. But nothing to you breaks. But your presence will quietly train people to narrow the work before it actually reaches you. And that predictability feeds the next issue, the scarcity mindset. Because you've won enough times to believe you can build any relationship going forward. So you take on even more, even those clients that don't bring you all the assets at the beginning of the relationship. And those clients, they want access as if the assets are already there. They expect the time, they want your planning, they want responsiveness, and they want to be viewed as a top priority, even without deciding to commit to you. And they stay surface level. They'll delay decisions. They keep on saying to you later while consuming the same level of attention. Even your specialists experience it differently. They'll give real advice early to these clients. Strategy gets shared, planning gets shaped. Then the client executes it somewhere else. So they feel like they're free consultants instead of being part of a committed relationship. Then your support has to carry it. Service loads increase, follow-through slows, progress stays light. And because you don't want to admit a misread, you keep that relationship alive. And then your partners, they respond to this too. They refer anything to you, not because it fits, but because they know you'll take it. You'll absorb what others will say no to. And quietly, your best clients feel the impact as well, because they'll get less of you and your team, and your least committed relationships take the most. And beyond the impact to your clients, it starts to impact the level of depth you can bring. So you lean on others to provide. This is where you stay involved instead of slowing the work down. You bring people in before clearly framing the work. You'll move clients through instead of going deeper with the thinking. And your team, they compensate. They start framing decisions themselves. They stop routing things back to you because it takes longer. Your support teams, they'll fix the expectations after commitments are made. And everyone cleans up behind you, which means you never feel the cost. But your clients, they'll notice who actually has the answers. When something really matters, they talk to the person with the depth, not the one copied on the email. So you'll still stay involved, but ownership has already moved on from you. And again, nothing breaks because others are carrying it. And that's exactly why it's hard to see to you. So I want you to examine a few things if you really truly want to own the outcome. So let's talk about your presence. You cannot have your repeatable structure start guiding you instead of you guiding the person across from you. It's like having two very different people walk away with the same result. This isn't advice, it's just your execution. And your job is to break the pattern. You must ensure your process never bends the reality of the person sitting across from you. Because once your presence becomes predictable, you start creating a fear that drives you into a scarcity mindset. This is where you're taking on more because you think you can win it later if you can't win it now. You got to stop carrying what should have been carried in the first place. You cannot let hidden load become your operating model. When you treat everything as important, you dilute the edge that built your reputation. You have to be willing to step back from projects and clients that don't fit, because whatever you keep in motion is what eventually defines you, and you must reclaim your depth. You have to stop showing up early when something needs fixing. If you do that, you are a corrector, not a creator. You must establish a direction up front before momentum has already chosen a path. Stop assuming your past performance carries your influence. Your influence is built on the signal you send out. You always must shape the criteria, the sequence, and the decisions. That is the threshold. If you need validation from your team or your clients to know if the quality is right, you haven't delegated. You've given up control, and you must hold the standard yourself without waiting for anyone else to explain the work to you. Because this isn't about fixing something that's failed. It's about protecting what you've built before success quietly changes how people experience it. When your presence invites depth and your standards shape every engagement, and ownership still starts and ends with you, your level holds. And it won't hold because you're everywhere or involved in everything. It holds because when it actually matters, the business still comes back to you as the source. And that's how your success will hold. And that's how you'll stay influential. Every week, I break down the real strategies behind top performance for wealth advisors and leaders ready to operate at the level they're built for. This is EliteVate. We cut through the fluff, no hype, no theory, just strategy, psychology, and execution. If this hits home, subscribe. You're not just watching and learning. You will become the model others follow.